My life had been the same for many years. I would wake up early, make tea, sit alone, then go to work. After work, I'd come home, cook, and watch TV. I didn't have many friends and rarely talked to my family. My small home gave me comfort, but I often felt lonely. My name is Emma. I was 30 when met Noah. At that time, I thought I was ready for love, but I was wrong. I saw Noah at a small dinner party my neighbor invited me to. I didn't want to go, but went anyway. There were only 6 people. One man was quiet. When I sat down, he smiled and greeted me. He introduced himself as Noah. He was polite, and his voice was calm. We talked about everyday things, weather, food, music. I enjoyed talking to him. 2 days later, he messaged me asking if I wanted to meet for coffee. I said yes. We met at a small cafe. He asked a lot about me and said, "I want to know more about you." I smiled. It felt nice. Over the next few weeks, we met often. He came to my street, waited for me after work, held my hand while walking, listened to me with his eyes lowered, and made me feel special. After a month, he said, "I want to be with you. I don't want anyone else." My heart warmed, and I said, "Yes." At first, Noah was very kind. He called daily, asked if I had eaten, brought small gifts, brought soup when I had a cold, gave me a scarf in winter and often smiled. He said I looked good even when tired. I told my friend he was different. Good. But after 4 months, something changed. He stopped calling, replied late, said work was tough. I tried to believe him. One weekend we planned to watch a movie. I cooked and waited 2 hours, but he didn't come. I called, no answer. I messaged. He replied late that night saying he was tired and had fallen asleep. No apology, no concern, just words. Still, I said nothing, consoling myself that he just needed time. But this happened repeatedly. He came late, didn't call, said don't ask so much. I asked less, stayed silent. One day, passing by the cafe, I saw Noah with another woman. They were laughing. She was touching his arm. My heart grew heavy, my hands cold. Maybe he saw me and ignored me, or maybe he didn't see me. I hurried home, locked the door, and sat on the floor. I didn't cry, just sat there. My mind was noisy. I was lost. That night I looked at my phone, wanted to ask who that woman was but couldn't. The next day he called asking, "How are you?" I asked, "Who was that woman at the cafe?" He said, "You saw me." I said, "Yes." He laughed and said, "You always think too much, she's just a friend." I asked, "Do you love me?" He said, "Why do you always need words?" I stayed silent and ended the call. I made tea, sat by the window, looked at the sky. It was deep and dark. I felt the same way. That week he stopped calling. I stopped waiting, checked my phone. Many times, but silence remained. I remembered when he first smiled. The soup, the scarf, the sweet words. Where had it all gone? Did he ever really care? I looked in the mirror. Tired eyes. A woman who kept loving but stayed in pain. I asked myself, why are you still waiting? I didn't want to wait anymore. The next day, I cleaned my room, changed the sheets, opened the windows, and the house felt new. I played music, made simple meals, ate on time, drank more water. Small things helped. That week, I walked to work, noticed the trees and people, felt the world again. I was tired but not sad. I was healing. One evening, I turned on my phone. 6 messages came, small ones. One said, "Where are you?" Another, "Why are you ignoring me?" And the last, "Okay, do whatever you want." I read them all. No anger, no pain, just inner silence. I didn't reply. 2 days later, he came to my door. I saw him through the window but didn't open it. He stayed 5 minutes and left. I sat in the kitchen, neither crying nor smiling, just still. That night, I talked to my friend Sarah, someone I hadn't talked to much but wanted to now. We met at a cafe. She looked happy. I told her everything. The little things, the late messages, the silence, the cold replies, the girl at the cafe, the pain. She held my hand and said, "You loved him, but he didn't love you the same." I said, "I wanted him to care." She nodded. "You gave him everything, he gave you little. That's not love." I felt a small tear, but also peace, the peace of truth. She smiled and said, "You are strong now." I smiled back. After that, the days felt lighter. Some days were hard. Sometimes I felt lonely. I remembered his voice. The first time he held my hand, the good days. But I told myself, that man left, or maybe he was never really there. I wrote one line in my notebook. I wasn't too much. He gave too little. Nothing more. One Sunday, I took a small box from my bags, went to the park, opened it near a tree by the trash can, took out a pen, a bracelet, and a photo. I took a deep breath and threw everything in the trash. I closed the box and left without looking back. At work, I started talking to people, helped new staff, ate lunch with them, smiled more. People noticed and said, "You look better." In another room at work was a man named Ben. He always said hello, opened the door for me, smiled not just with his lips but with his eyes. One day he asked, "Would you like to join us for lunch?" I almost said no, but then said, "Yes, thank you." We talked about food and music over lunch. He liked soft songs. I liked quiet music. We laughed once. It felt warm. He didn't ask for my number or say sweet words, just listened. After lunch, he said, "I'm glad you came." I said, "Me too." I didn't think much or dream. Just an hour felt good. That night, I saw another message from Noah. "I miss you. Can we talk?" I looked at it for a long time. My hand wanted to reply, but my heart said no. He remembered me now, but when I was waiting, when I was crying, when I was lonely, where was he? He misses the girl who waited for his call, but that girl is no longer here. I deleted the message, turned off my phone, sat by the window watching the stars and said, "You did the right thing." 2 days later, I saw Noah alone in the city. He looked at me, and I looked at him. He came up and said, "Emma, I didn't think you'd be here." I said, "I live here, I walk here." He smiled a little. "You look different." I said, "I feel different." He looked down. You didn't answer my messages. I said, I know. He said, you don't want to talk. I said, I wanted to talk before when you didn't listen. He was silent, then said, forgive me. I nodded. I hope you get what you want. He said, can we try again? I gave a small smile. No, Noah, I already tried. I walked away, didn't look back or cry, felt free. At home, I took off my shoes, made tea, sat peacefully, thinking about my heart. It still had some wounds, but it was healing. Now it beats for me, not for anyone else. The next day at work, Ben smiled again, and I smiled back. He asked, want to sit outside for lunch? I said yes. That would be nice. And that was enough. I wasn't looking for perfect love, no grand gestures or fast promises, just someone who sees me, listens, and is kind. But before that, I had to see myself, hear my own voice, be kind to myself. I chose peace, respect, and myself, and that was enough. Days passed slowly, but now they felt gentle. I wasn't rushing, waiting for Noah's name on my phone, checking every 5 minutes, or feeling cold worry in my heart. I woke up in the mornings, made tea, listened to the birds outside, read the news, and felt a gentle calm within me. The heavy weight of waiting and hoping had lifted. Instead, there was a quiet strength growing inside. I started focusing on small joys, walking in the park, chatting with colleagues, and even laughing more freely. One afternoon, Ben asked me again to join him for lunch outside. This time, I agreed without hesitation. As we sat together under the soft sunlight, sharing stories and smiles, I realized something important. I didn't need grand gestures or perfect love. What mattered most was kindness, presence, and respect. Slowly, I learned to love myself more deeply, accepting my flaws, embracing my strengths, and valuing my own happiness. No longer dependent on someone else's attention, I felt whole, and that made all the difference.